Hello everyone!
We kick things off with our hero playing a mommy game. He feels that everyone knows the mommies in this game are much cuter than the actual heroines. Now, we see one of the mommies introducing herself as Maniana. She greets the player as the man rizzing her daughter, and then they have a mock battle. She commends the player's skills, and then somehow we move to the shower where Maniana calls the player a naughty boy. This is standard comic guzzler's behavior, but later on in the game we see that Maniana loses her life, which makes all of us sad. Our hero also comments that this is such a depressing moment, because such a cute mommy should not have to leave us. He is such a dedicated man of culture that he even convinces the game developers to create a route in which all the mommies get saved. However, this is actually just a new event for the heroines, so he is very upset. He doesn't like that the moms are being given such unfair treatment, so we can safely say that his role model is the Ultimate Mommy King series. The name of this game is Magia Fantasia, or Mama Fan. It's a standard story in a magic academy with shady elements, and despite this, it still has a lot of praise. The heroines are just one charm of the game, but what makes it stand out the most is its awesome cast of mommies. Sadly, they are just side characters, and none of them have an independent route. What's worse is that some of them get terrible endings, which are quite bad. The hero saves all the heroines by risking his life, but when it comes to the moms, they just move on as if nothing happened. It turns out that our own hero is not the only one, as tons of players have asked for a preferable mommy route. However, the game developers keep ignoring these requests, probably because they haven't watched Comic Guzzler videos. Having said that, lots of players love the game because they are like Drake when it comes to female preferences. Even a mommy can look great in a school uniform, but society isn't ready for that discussion yet. Our hero tells us that if he was the protagonist, then he would have done everything in his power to save the mommies. He finishes the game, so it's time to go to work, but then he trips over some stairs and lands up in another world. He looks different now, and notices that he is in a Western-looking mansion. He then takes a look at a portrait, and that's when he realizes that he has been selected to have his story on Comic Guzzlers. His name is Demonio, as is said by a panicked mommy with pillows that can cure cancer. She asks if bro is fine, but he is losing his mind, because this is Mommy Rosa. He knows her from Mama Fan, so he is now certain that he is in the game. Demonio is glad that he has made it to the game, but there is one problem here. Rosa called him Demonio, so he takes a look in the mirror and learns that he has been reincarnated as the worst possible character of the game. That's when we learn that Demonio Tridal is actually the villain aristocrat of the story. He has first-rate magic skills, but he is a callous man. He is also supposed to lose to the hero of the story every single time, and after that, he meets a rather deadly end after he loses control of his powers. Bro is not going to go out this way, because he has finally found his dream world. In the midst of his panic, Rosa and her pillows ask if he's fine, and this is more than enough to make him forget every worry in the world. She's supposed to be his stepmom, so Demonio is in the clear if you catch my drift. Rosa doesn't have much to do in the story, but she is very popular for two obvious purposes. Rosa apologizes for walking in without knocking, but she couldn't stop herself after hearing the screams. She seems to be frightened of Demonio, as she willingly takes the blame for the welt too. That's when our hero gets some memories of his character mistreating his stepmom, which is a big no for men of culture. These are Demonio's memories before Bro reincarnated into his body, and we learn that he had lost his real mom when he was young. He hated Rosa and mistreated her to deal with this loss, but even then, she would show him love as his stepmom. In the main story, she even tried to protect Demonio from the hero in the final battle. However, the villain ended her in very hateful fashion. Our hero can never forgive such a horrible person. So now that he is in Demonio's body, he apologizes to Rosa for everything. He awkwardly tells her that he was in a rebellious phase in order to explain his past actions. However, he refers to her the same way he does in the game, so it confuses Rosa. Demonio is cooked, so he asks if Rosa felt upset to be referred to as a mommy. However, she is extremely happy because he has finally acknowledged her as his mother. Her pillows get way too close to our hero, so intrusive thoughts take over instantly. They are like gifts from heaven, so Demonio needs to control himself. Rosa says that he should call her mommy more often, and she gladly accepts his apology because she always thought of him as a nice boy. She wants to build their family bond slowly, but Demonio isn't Vin Diesel, as he wants to have some other kind of bond. With that, Rosa leaves the room, and Demonio can only think about how cute she is. He still can't believe that such an adorable mommy was ended in the main story. He feels that since he is Demonio, he can avoid Rosa's death. Not just that, he can also try to keep all the other mommies alive, as certain events are in his hands. Now, we see Demonio training by himself because he knows the protagonist will only save the young heroines. He must become stronger if he is to keep all the mommies safe. This kicks off an intense sequence where he does his best to gain power, as he will need to overcome some really tough opponents. He must also try to change the trajectory of the story, like how X changes the animation in to be Hero X. Our hero knows that his character is a jerk, but his skills are top class, and he also has wealth and power on his side. Basically, he must train hard and avoid the villain route if he wants to actually change the outcome of the game. Now, we see a glimpse of his powers, after which Demonio says that he will let the protagonist save the younger heroines, whereas he shall focus on the mommies. Now, we see Demonio facing off against a giant bear. It's much bigger than what was expected, and his forces are having a tough time. Our hero steps in and unleashes his intermediate spell, Black Dance. One strike is all he needs to take out the beast, and his men are amazed by what they see. However, Bro only wants to go home and have Rosa praise him. It's been 2 months since Demonio got reincarnated, and everyone is seeing notable changes. He used to treat his staff as cattle, but now he even helps them out occasionally. He is also training hard, so the maids feel like he has become a respectable man. We now learn that he acts as the head of the house instead of his father, Glenn, who is usually away from the mansion. Demonio completes a deal and hands over the document to Rosa, but then the other nobles take one look at her curvy body and lose it. They ask Demonio if it's wise to entrust Rosa with such documents, because she could just take them and run away. After all, with cake like that, she easily got with Glenn, and now these nobles want to eat it too. Rosa only smiles at them, and Demonio tells us that she is from a fallen noble family, so she is poor. Everyone calls her a gold digger, and she gets harassed quite often, which is not good at all. However, the reason people behave this way towards her is because of Demonio's past actions. Our hero can never forgive him for his inexcusable behavior, and he loses his cool. Demonio punches the table and says that Mommy Rosa is a wonderful woman, who is dignified. He calls her stunning, charming, and full of love, but the other nobles are a bit surprised to hear him call Rosa Mommy. Demonio unleashes his powers and tells the nobles that they should not dare disrespect his mommy. If they do, it means they have no need for their necks. He grabs the both of them with his power and tells them to get out of his sight. The two nobles run away from the mansion and are like, "Oh my God!" They are also confused because Demonio was the one who was supposed to hate his stepmother. Now, Rosa tells Demonio that he should not lose his temper, as he is the head of the house. He softens up and apologizes, but states he only got this way because the others were disrespecting her. Rosa hugs him and calls him a bad boy, but this is when we all say,
It should have been me, not him!
Bro is living the dream, and he wishes he could flirt with Rosa for the rest of his life. However, he remembers it's his duty to save all the moms of this world, so he is going to need a lot more power. He has to do this before the final quest, which is when Demonio is supposed to lose his mind. Our hero remembers the Glenn family treasure, which is a side quest that doesn't affect the main story much. However, it does have a rare weapon which can only be obtained in this particular quest. Demonio must do everything he can to get this weapon, because only with that can he save the next mommy. We quickly move forward, as we see Demonio exploring the hidden dungeon to look for the rare weapon. He remembers the steps he needed to take in the game to get this weapon, and enacts all of them here. There are lots of specific actions he needs to perform, but all is fair in love and war over Mommies. We learn that this dungeon actually appears at the end of the game, but Demonio has the path memorized, so he is picking the quickest route to his destination without having run into pointless encounters with monsters. It was not an easy time for him back in Japan, because he messed up a lot, but this is the true meaning of try and try until you succeed. Soon enough, Demonio reaches the last gate, and upon entering it, he finds the weapon. It's the demon sword, Death Pena, and it can exponentially strengthen your dark magic. Despite it being such a rare weapon, it was barely usable in the game. Apparently Demonio already had an all-round weapon to power up at the time, but with his current objectives, this sword will be the perfect weapon for him. The only thing left for him to do now is to defeat the Guardian of the Treasure, who is a final boss. This beast only shows up once you take Death Pena, and Demonio is confident because he knows all of its attack patterns. The beast lands its first strike, and it's a really powerful one, but Demonio is unharmed, because he activated his shadow barrier at the right time. Of course, just because he has the cheat code to the game, does not mean it's going to be easy for him. He can't even see his HP bar, which is bad news for a gamer. Of course, he has made a vow which he will not betray. He will protect the mommies he loves in this world, and take on anything that gets in his way. The Guardian has tough skin that is resistant to magical and physical attacks, so Bro is at a disadvantage due to his current level. First of all, the beast is hanging from the ceiling, so Demonio's attacks can't even reach him. Since he has a strong aptitude for dark magic, he can control shadows, although he can't summon a shadow army like Sung Jin-woo. Anyway, his talent is insane, so our hero decides to use these skills to his advantage. Now, Demonio waits for the Guardian to finish his attack with the tentacles. The beast opens its mouth and launches an acid shot, but this will be Demonio's best chance to attack. He decides to unleash all of his magic here, so he uses pinpoint for accuracy, and then launches the Black Lance attack. Luckily, he is able to strike the Guardian's hidden eye with this move, and since it's the monster's main weakness, it collapses. Demonio basically compressed his mana to focus it all on this one attack, and he succeeded. He was also able to increase his range and the density of the piercing power, along with the speed of his attack. This is of course all thanks to the demon sword, which turns out to be the most valuable player. Not only has our hero gotten a new, awesome weapon, but he has also cleared the dungeon, so he is one step closer to saving another mommy. He lets out a cry of happiness, but then someone laughs at him and asks who he is referring to as mommy. Now, a shady character appears, and she tells us that her seal has been broken after a very long time. However, she did not expect to see her new master as a mommy enthusiast. Naturally, Demonio is confused by what he is seeing, and needs some more clarity. Abruptly, we move back to the mansion and see Demonio carefully examining the demon sword. He's glad he acquired Death Pena without any serious injuries, but he definitely did not expect such a troublesome girl to come along with it. Basically, the mysterious girl is attached to the sword, but for now, Demonio needs to go for a shower. He's actually surprised that a world in the Middle Ages has shower technology, but he's about to be completely shocked. He opens the bathroom door and walks in on his stepmom changing her clothes. Such a sight is enough to say that you have lived a fulfilling life, and naturally, our hero is speechless. Later on, he thanks Rosa for the feast, but they need to address the elephant in the room, not in his pants. Bro apologizes for witnessing something forbidden to stepsons, but Rosa says it was her fault for not locking the door. She says sorry for showing such an unseemly side of hers, but we can vouch for him when we say nobody is complaining. Demonio is amazed that Rosa is actually apologizing instead of getting upset over what happened, so she is truly a best girl. Now, Rosa notices the demon sword, and calls Demonio incredible for clearing the dungeon all by himself. She has heard it's a very challenging dungeon, but bro just takes in the praise. She also knows about Death Pena and the amount of dark magic it holds. No one was able to wield it due to its immense power, which was why Demonio's family had to seal it off. Our hero notes that Rose's story is the exact same as the one in the game. She then warns her stepson that there's a fable of the sword which says that it has a mind of its own, which can bring the master it hates to ruin. Demonio laughs it off, stating that a demon sword can't have its own will, but he knows the truth all too well. We now see Death Pena's female form enjoying some snacks and being goofy. What's more surprising is that our hero did not expect to see her, as she never existed in the game. There was a vague reference to a cursed soul, but that's about it. What Demonio once thought of as harmless text scribbled on the sword has given him enough reason to not rely only on his knowledge of the game. He looks at the female soul and asks for her name, but she says she does not have one. Demonio decides to call her Pena, because death would be a bit too hardcore. She says it's her first time outside in ages, and she wants her mommy lover master to entertain her loads. She also warns him that she will curse him to death if he bores her. Demonio says he's not a mommy lover, but he's never beating the allegations. Pena says that he has a mother's complex, but Demonio says his love for mommies is not something as pathetic as a mother's complex. It's his redeeming quality as a true man of culture, and even Pena is impressed by his resolve. Demonio is fiddling with something, so Pena asks what it is. That's when Demonio says it's high time he took some action. He is currently 15 years old, and in this world, you become a noble at 16. Once that happens, you must attend the Magic Academy here. Demonio recalls that when the main story starts going, he will get to meet a ton of mommies. Having said that, there's one mommy who is an exception. If our hero doesn't make a move before the start of the main story, then saving her will be impossible. This is one of the strongest characters in the game, and she is extremely popular with most of the players as well. Yes, it's none other than Mommy Maniana, who gets a really bad ending in the game. He must save her before that happens, so things are getting quite serious now. We learn that her full name is Maniana Vel Heaven, which is a suitable name considering her pillows are God's gift to mankind. She has magic sword skills and is known as the Witch of Thunder. Maniana is also the mom of a heroine named Monica, but more importantly, she is a former S-rank adventurer, and one of the 7 strongest pillars of the Royal Knight Order. Yes, there are quite a few similarities to Ceres' story, but we're here for it. Maniana's husband has passed away, so Monica is her only family now. She shows up every once in a while in the game's prologue, and is considered to be the strongest character who is not in the main story. She is drop-dead gorgeous with perfect pillows and a cake that you could eat every single day without worrying about sugar problems. Naturally, she became popular amongst men of culture, but she suddenly vanishes in the middle of the game. The next time she shows up is in the northern parts of the Tridal land. A lot of unforgivable things are done to her, as we can see now in real time, because some goons are talking about having their way with Maniana once their bosses are done with her. Pena spies on them and goes back to her master with the report. She tells him where the guards are stationed and mentions a hidden passage as well. Demonio is glad that Pena is quite useful, and she wants him to praise her even more. As our hero figures out his plan as per his game knowledge, Pena states that she has received quite an amusing master, as he has a past life. Demonio tells us that he now knows Pena is only visible to him, but can be slightly touched. She is also able to eat food for some reason and can turn into a flying spirit ball. This made it easier for him to explain his past life and the game to her. Pena confirms that Demonio wants to save Maniana from a horrible fate at the hands of the bandits, and he confirms it. This is because at the end of the game, when she shows up again, Maniana has become a villain after being manipulated by the rascals who kidnapped her. Due to this, the protagonist of the game had no other choice but to defeat her, which is rather tragic. After this was done, Maniana came back to her senses and took her last breath after apologizing for what she had done. Despite such an emotional moment, Manga only hugs the protagonist, Ray, and then they move on to the next stage. That's a really unfortunate end, and in a flashback, we see Demonio from his past life complaining about the fate dealt to Maniana. He could not believe that such a popular character would get such a rough ending, and he briefly gave in to his intrusive thoughts when he thought about what all the curvy mommy had to do when she was imprisoned. However, he quickly regained his focus and pleaded with the developers to do something for Maniana. It was all in vain, so we're back to the present where Demonio puts on a mask and prepares an attack to change Maniana's fate. As he moves in, Pena asks why he's wearing such a silly mask, so he says it's to keep his identity a secret. He wants to save Maniana and then leave immediately, which will work out for the best. Pena is surprised that he does not wish to ask something in return from Maniana, as it's extremely admirable. Bro Creepula says that as long as his favorite mommy is fine, he will be happy, and Pena does not know what to make of it. There are 4 guards on the lookout, just as Pena had mentioned earlier, so Demonio unleashes his dark magic spell called Black Slave. It renders its targets unable to move, and our hero makes use of this to slash his way through the guards. Pena is quite amazed to see the amount of magical power and control Demonio already has at such a young age. She is glad to have such a great master, but Bro farms some aura by striking a pose and saying it's no big deal as these guards were a bunch of nobodies. It's time to head over to the underground passage, and we can see an evil man commenting on Maniana's body over there. She does come with the full package, so it's a race against time. We shift to Demonio and Pena now in the passage. The demon sword girl is still confused because if Maniana is such a great warrior, then she should not have been caught so easily by a bunch of bandits. However, our hero says there are some deep reasons for that. The enemy's top forces laid out a trap for her, but the reason they left the humiliating punishment to the pawns was literally because the game's writer has a bizarre preference. He seems to enjoy watching noble women getting violated by low-class scumbags. So it's a case of Quentin Tarantino, but instead of feet, it's Maniana's fate. Pena does not understand this, so Demonio says it's because the writer has some sick tastes and does not care for the plot of the story. Now, we move back to Maniana, who is in a bad spot, as she is unable to use her magic. One of the goons says that it's because of the incantation cast on her neck's collar. Due to this, she can't use magic or even strengthen her body. Now that she has been reduced to a normal woman, the goon gets ready to become a gooner. These villains have also put some substance inside Mariana that will awaken her wild side. They even tease her about it, so she tells them to shut up. The 2 goons start thinking about all the things they are going to do to her, because they have been given the go-ahead by their bosses. They can't hold themselves any longer, but the senior gooner wants to have a go first. As they are about to put their hands on Maniana, she says sorry to Monica for being done in. She had wanted to become a strong mother, especially after the loss of her husband. She also wanted to protect her daughter from harm's way and make her believe in her. The Royal Knight's order was still rife with outdated beliefs, so Maniana was made fun of for originally being a commoner. She had still managed to get by all her obstacles with her skills, and this was how she could always be there for her daughter, no matter how much the others would mock her. She tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter if these lowlives are going to have their way with her. Once again, she says that she loves her daughter and apologizes for being a terrible mother. At that very moment, our hero drops by and slashes the gooner's right hand, thus making his life worthless. Maniana has no idea who this masked man is, but we're all cheering for him. The goons try to attack him, but it's of no use as he's able to deal with the junior effortlessly. The senior tries to make a run for it, but Pena notices that he has something that looks important. Maniana is still confused, but first, Demonio uses his dark magic to stop the goon and capture him. The loser tries to beg for mercy by saying he was just doing what his bosses told him to do. He even gives the important item to Demonio, and we learn it's a cursed tool. This is what is preventing Maniana from using her powers, and the goon begs for his life to be spared in exchange for it. Pena finds this really pathetic, so she asks Demonio to say something, but she sees that Bro is briefly considering being able to do as he wishes with manhwa. Men of culture may stumble occasionally, but it's important to regain your composure, which is what Demonio does. He smacks away the goon with rage and calls him filth for taking women to be playthings. Of course, he's acting cool now, but Pena knows he was briefly torn between his choices. Now, Demonio frees manhwa from her chains and provides her his coat to cover that curvy body. She thanks him for saving her, and he puts on a Giga Chad front to know if she has been assaulted in any manner. Of course, he's bubbling with excitement inside, and then Mommy Maniana reveals she is untouched. That was one heck of a close call, but now manhwa wants to know who Demonio is. He says that his name is not worth mentioning, and he only reveals that he is a man who has fallen head over heels for her. Pena can't believe what she is seeing, and even manhwa blushes after hearing such a compliment. Now, Bro picks up his mommy dearest and tells her to hold on tight as they make their way out of this place. Manhwa can't remember the last time someone had gone to such lengths to protect her, and soon enough, they reach a safe zone. Demonio tells manhwa that she should lay down in his tent and get some rest. She apologizes because her body is feeling very hot right now, probably because of the shady substance that was given to her earlier. Bro has fulfilled his mission, so he is ready to take his leave the moment she falls asleep. It takes a lot of willpower to resist such temptation, but it turns out that comic guzzlers will always find a way around it. Somehow, manhwa trips and falls, leading to a rather familiar position that men of culture know about. Things are not looking good for Bro, because his mommy's cake is right in front of his face. He can only control to a certain extent, but manhwa's hormones are taking over her body, so she can't hold back. The curvy mommy gets a look at his python, and she reaches her breaking point. She says it's time to get freaky, and even though Demonio tries to resist, manhwa has her strength back, and she's using all of it. She feels like her body is on fire, so she asks our hero to forgive her for what she is about to do to him. She engages in a light tongue twister and says that she has had to bear it all by herself, so if Demonio is going to be nice to her, then she is obviously going to attack him with thirst. What follows is the standard game of elephants and kitties, but with tons of intensity. Manhwa comments that Bro's python is much larger than her late husband's, and even Pena comments that he is like a raging bull. This goes on until manhwa has multiple. However, she is not ready to let Demonio go, because she is going to fulfill all her years of frustration in one night. Pena doesn't know when this will end, and the unspeakable acts continue all night long, as manhwa has activated beast mode. Pena falls asleep, but even when she wakes up in the morning, she can hear them still going at it. We must salute our soldier for putting on such a performance, and after ages, the innumerable deeds are finally done. Manhwa comes back to her senses and realizes what she has just done. Bro is drained of all his elephant water, and his soul has left his body. Such a sight would definitely make Joseph Joestar say, "Oh my God!" Even Pena asks him if he is alright, but Demonio simply thanks manhwa for showing him heaven on earth, even thought this world is technically not earth. Manhwa is so ashamed of herself that she bows down to Demonio and begs for forgiveness. She knows the substance was the main cause, but she still allowed herself to be taken over so easily and become female Diddy. She has done something unforgivable, despite being saved by her victim. She will do anything to make amends to him, but Demonio doesn't really see the problem here. He enjoyed every single second of it, and actually wants to express his gratitude to manhwa for what she has done. As a matter of fact, back in his world, he would have even paid for such an experience. But of course, he can't let his intrusive thoughts give him away. He asks manhwa to raise her head, and states that what happened between them was nothing but an accident. It doesn't bother him at all, but manhwa can't have this, so she gets up, giving him a full view in the process. Bro is blessed, and now she covers herself with a coat. It turns out that the curvy mommy does know who Demonio is, and she says she has a daughter the same age as him. She feels terrible for what she has done, but there's no need for this guilt because technically our hero is in his 30s mentally. Manhwa feels that Demonio must have hated the experience because he got violated by a mature woman, but she doesn't know this is the path to salvation for men of culture. However, Bro puts on the most Chad face and says he had a stellar time. Manhwa is confused, but he says that he is actually a bit ashamed of himself. He let her take the lead and didn't put in any effort himself, but Manhwa says that he was much more of a man than anyone else she knows. She compliments his energy and endurance, but quickly remembers that she is supposed to apologize. Since this is going to weigh on her conscience, she has to make it up to Demonio in some way. The standard thing that men usually ask for in such situations has already been given to Bro, so he doesn't see the need. However, Paina tells her master to listen to Manhwa and ask for a favor. At least that will put her mind at ease, and he agrees with her logic. Our hero uses his big brain energy now, and eventually asks the mommy to train him. We now move to his mansion, where Manhwa asks if he is sure about this. He says yes because even though he has been training very hard for 2 months, there's only so much he can learn by himself. Since Manhwa's sword skills and magic skills are both first-rate, there's no better person for this job. She is fine with it, although she feels it's not enough to make amends. Demonio thanks her for accepting, and rejoices inside over having Mommy Maniana as his sensei. Before they begin, Manhwa needs to say something, which is that over time, she has had high-ranking nobles constantly ask her to train them. Even so, she refused all their offers and never took up a disciple. With that, she springs into action and shows us why she's such a hyped-up character. Manhwa is able to reach Demonio in no time and tries to slash him. Of course, he's able to dodge this move, but we can see him getting serious. Basically, the curvy mommy could never provide proper tutelage, so she can only teach our hero through actual combat. She asks him once again if he is fine with having such a violent teacher, but he is happy to see this. He remembers her battle mode in the game too, and brings out the demon sword. Demonio then tells Manhwa to bring it on. We now see the both of them in action, and it looks like a hardcore session. Manhwa is in full flow, and Demonio would not expect anything less from one of the 7 strongest Magia members. He's still young, so her level is much higher than his, and we can see it on display when the mommy unleashes a lightning hammer on Bro. It's a massive attack with a lot of power, but Demonio is able to protect himself by using shadow spears. Manhwa is quite impressed by this move, so she decides to up the ante and put on a show. She knows that the Tridal family has produced highly skilled shadow users for generations, and she has heard only negative things about Demonio. People talk about how he is so skilled, but still so arrogant, which is why they consider him to be more of a demon than a person. However, what she is seeing here is a sincere and noble person. On top of that, he saved her yesterday too, so perhaps the rumors are not true. The most important thing is the game of elephants and kitties that they played, but Manhwa should not let such things distract her. While she's trying to get a hold of herself, Demonio sees his chance and tries to land a hit. He throws his demon sword at Manhwa's shadow and unleashes Pinpoint as well as Shadow Bind. The curvy mommy is aware of this move, as shadow magic users like it a lot. It's a good move that is used to slow down one's opponent, but Manhwa says it won't work on her because her level is way too high. However, she is unable to move, and it feels as if her right leg is stuck to the ground. She is shocked to learn that Demonio has actually condensed the magical effect. This way, instead of having the power spread out, he is just focusing on one area, which makes it tougher for even someone of a higher level than him. Manhwa never thought Demonio had such powerful precision, and understands that he is in a class of his own. With that, Bro unleashes an attack where he aims to touch his dear mommy to his heart's content, whatever that is supposed to mean. Of course, Manhwa is still at a higher level, and she doesn't want Demonio to touch her through his shadows, so she unleashes her ultimate move. Bro is blinded by the lights as he is pushed back, and his demon sword also comes off the ground. He admits that he wasn't able to pull it off, and the Royal Knight members never disappoint. He still does not stand a chance against his mommy, but Manhwa can't believe that she got bested by such a young boy who's nowhere near his best. His talent is fearsome, and yet he does not bask in it, as he only wishes to get stronger. She wonders how powerful our hero will become once his talents fully develop. Now, Paina whispers to her master that he really struggled with this fight. He says that his heart was pounding at his chest, so that was another reason he could not fully focus on the training. That's very understandable, and then Manhwa tells him he has a remarkable way of using magic. Of course, he still has a lot to work on, so it would be shame for her not to polish his skills. She helps him up, but at the same time, she gets a bad feeling. She is supposed to train Demonio as his sensei, but instead, she is getting butterflies in her stomach, thanks to his teen Riz. With this, she playfully flirts by saying she is sure to train him hard from now on, so he should brace himself. She even wants him to call her his mistress, so he asks if Mistress Maniana is fine. Paina feels it would be a mouthful to say such things, but there are other issues to manage. Manhwa can't report taking in a disciple to the Royal Knights, as it would be a hassle if she did so. Demonio feels it may be a bit too late to say this, but he still must ask his mommy if he has gotten her pregnant by any chance. After all, they engaged in their shady acts without any preparations. There's a brief pause, and then she playfully says if it comes to that, then he will have to take her in as his wife. She immediately says she's joking, because she feels Demonio would never marry an old woman like her. On the contrary, he holds her hands immediately and says he would do it in a heartbeat. Naturally, she is surprised to see this, and calls him a silly goose for taking a joke so seriously. He also doesn't need to worry about an illegitimate child, because Manhwa has already used contraceptive magic to handle the situation. Comes off as odd to bro, but he does remember this kind of jargon existing in the game. He needs to compose himself now, because Manhwa should not suspect anything. However, she feels funny and wonders if the substance has not worn off completely yet. Regardless, the curvy mommy becomes Demonio's curvy sensei, although in secret. Later, at the main estate of the Tridal family, we can see the maids and the staff talking about Manhwa acknowledging Demonio's talent. It's obviously meant only to be discussed internally, but they can't stop talking about how beautiful Manhwa is. This reaches Rose's ears, and she clearly feels some kind of way about it. Now, we move forward to Bro practicing his magical energy with Manhwa. He is ready to go through anything as long as it's for his mommy harem. Manhwa seems to be feeling shady again, and she tells Demonio that the magic near his chest is a bit off. She wants him to sense her mana to get a better feel of it, but in order to do that, he needs to touch her heavenly pillows. Even the strongest soldier can lose his composure here, but Demonio fights on for the sake of training. Regardless, he cannot ignore the fact that this kind of training is of the highest level. The training gets even a bit more intense, as Manhwa cozies up next to Demonio to help him with his form. She wants to thoroughly teach him the way forward, but her intrusive thoughts cannot be denied. Clearly, the storyline is going out of order, but we don't care. It's time to move back an hour in time to see how they got to this point. Demonio channels his inner magical energy and is exhibiting tons of aura. He focuses it on his fist and launches a punch to completely smash a pillar. It's impressive, and Manhwa says that he has gotten the hang of it now. Of course, she'd expect no less from him, because body enhancement is the cornerstone of magic and the key to fighting with it. Keeping up with the fundamentals is crucial, and our hero agrees with his mistress Mommy. He can only repeat that Mommy Maniana has become his mistress, but more importantly, she is not the violent and aggressive type like how she had warned him earlier. She is thorough and patient with the way she teaches Demonio, so the progress is great. The two of them have a mock battle and Bro shows off his new skills. Manhwa is barely able to dodge the attack, and she confesses that even though she has fought many shadow users in the past, she has never seen someone like our hero, who can control his shadows with such precision. On top of that, He is soaking up knowledge about her own sword skills and body movements. He's definitely a lot stronger than Manhwa was at his age, so Demonio is a fearsome candidate. In the middle of all this, her eyes fall on his chest, which is pumped even without flexing. Those muscles are doing something to her, so she decides to get up close and personal with him, which means we've caught up to the previous panel. Manhwa asks Bro to put some force into his core, and she will channel some of her mana into him so that his body can get used to high-density mana. It's not a smooth method, but it is the fastest way to develop Demonio's mana. Having said that, such a technique could become a bit extra, considering how nicely Manhwa's pillows are in contact with Demonio. The battle begins yet again for our hero, so he comments that Manhwa has the body of an angel. However, she tells him he can't allow some slight stimulation to affect him so easily. After all, there could be enemies out there who will use their charms to make Demonio lower his guard against them. With that in mind, this kind of control is also a type of training, so Demonio must remain focused. Our hero figures he needs to take this seriously, so he must hang in there. At the same time, even Manhwa does not know why she is doing this, because she is finding it difficult to hold back her own shady intentions. Demonio activates Ultra Zen mode and clears his mind to deal with this obstacle. However, the curvy mommy's body is tingling, and the woman in her really wants Bro. As this goes on, Paina wonders what the heck kind of training this is, as she is the only one in right frame of mind. Anyway, the relationship between student and sensei has become a lot better moving forward. Demonio would also like to believe that he has avoided a bad ending for Mommy Maniana. At the same time, he cannot afford to let his guard down, so he must stay vigilant. After all, the plot has strayed away from the source material, so it's just like Adidas says, impossible is nothing. Demonio can only focus on getting stronger now, but it looks like he was not paying attention to what Manhwa was telling him. He calls her Mommy Maniana by mistake, and it takes her by surprise. He tries to make an excuse by saying it just slipped out of his mouth, as he wanted to call her master instead. However, Manhwa pats him on the head and says that she does not mind being called this way. If anything, she would love to have such a dashing and brilliant son like Demonio, minus the obvious Alabama activities. Naturally, this makes him happy, and the both of them have a good time at the dinner table, but then we see Rosa peeping in on their interaction. She does seem to be jealous, as she believes she is Demonio's true mommy. The next day, we see Demonio training with Manhwa as usual, and then he heads back to the mansion. It was a fulfilling day of training for him, and then Mommy Rosa shows up to say he's really putting in a lot of effort. The soldiers have told her that Demonio is learning all kinds of magic spells, and he says it's all thanks to Mommy Manhwa. Rosa puts on a fake smile, and then she tells Bro to go take a bath. She does not want him to catch a cold from all the sweat, so our hero runs away to the bathroom without understanding what's going on. He leaves his clothes behind, so Rosa takes a sniff like Cha Hae-in does with Sung Jin-woo. It's suspicious for sure, but at least she's just his stepmom, unlike Wayne and Fina from Gamer GA Isekai'd. Anyway, Rosa loves Demonio's scent, but she does not like that Manhwa's scent is also mixed in there with it. There's clearly a lot of jealousy on display, and then we move to Demonio, who is enjoying a nice, hot bath with Paina. She asks her master to rub her back, but he does not know if she even has back in this current form. At this very moment, someone enters the bathroom, and it's none other than Mommy Rosa. She says that she will rub Bro's back, and in just a towel, our hero finds it too good to resist. She says it's fine because she is his mommy, and she continues to say this, which only makes Demonio go crazy. Paina is just enjoying the hot water, so all seems to be well even though it should have been us, not him. Anyway, now that our hero has a great trainer in Manhwa and a great stepmom in Rosa who cooks a lot of food for him. This is not all, because they also offer him the kinds of services one can only dream of. For example, Mommy Manhwa dresses up in alluring fashion to train Demonio against seduction tactics. And then we see Mommy Rosa telling her stepson to sleep in the same bed as her. These mommies are diligent in their support for sure, and a lot of time passes by. The seasons come and go, but the training never stops. And now we can see Demonio facing off against a dragon. It looks rather dangerous, but Bro is prepared, as he unleashes a shadow dragon of his own. It grabs the other dragon by the throat and pins it down to the ground with ease, even finishing it off without any issue. Anna is both amazed and a little anxious to see such scary power. Soon enough, Demonio turns 16, so the time for his first day in the academy has arrived. He is heading out, and he tells both his mommies that he shall see them soon. Both Rosa and Anna tell him to stay safe, as they both care for him a lot. They may be smiling, but the jealousy has not died down yet. With that, our hero takes his leave, but he gets sad because he is going to miss his mommies. He eventually gets in the carriage and realizes it's finally time to start the main story of Mama Fan. The plot where his beloved mommies will meet horrible fates will begin soon, but he is going to turn everything on its head, as he gives us a rather shady smile. We now see the Nobleza Magic Academy, which is located in the capital. It is one of the best institutions of this world, as both royalty and nobles attend it. It's an elite school from where the Royal Knights and the Ministry of Magic get their new recruits. The new students are welcomed and then given entrance exams to sort out their classes. This year's exams have spiked up in difficulty, so everyone has quite the task ahead of them. First, there's a written test, then a magic appraisal test where Demonio shatters the magic crystal. The sword skills test is also aced with ease, and in the magic practical test, the eldest son of the noble family of Kar Mace refuses to lose to our hero. He unleashes an intermediate fire spell, called Blaze Arrow, but Demonio neutralizes it at once with an advanced dark magic spell, called Black Fong. It's an easy win, but the other students can't believe that Demonio used an advanced spell. Only the Knights of the Royal Knights Order can use such spells, so it's quite obvious that Demonio is an overpowered Giga Chad Ultra Pro Max. Everyone still calls our hero the boy genius, who is also a demon, and we learn that his family name is actually Traitor, not Tridal, as the translation had mentioned earlier. Anyway, Demonio's grades are top-notch, which is befitting for a noble. Bro even aura farms as if he knew he was going to ace the exams. Now, our hero goes to a deserted place, which confuses Pena, but it's because he wants to talk to his mommies. Anna is looking like a total baddie as she sips on some tea and says she should visit the academy sometime soon. She'd like to see how her daughter's doing anyway. And then Rosa is also looking super fine as she tells Demonio to come home if something bad ever happens to him. The call is done, and Bro is really missing his paradise. At the same time, he knows he has to give it his best shot. The real story of Mama Fan is starting, so he can't be caught lacking. Now, he overhears some student complaining about being in Class C. His buddy tells him that's still fine because he is in Class D. Pena does not understand what the class system is all about, so Demonio says it's like a hierarchy system. Basically, the academy distributes students from classes A to E based on their grades. The upper classes get all the benefits while the lower classes are forced to study in poor conditions. Of course, students can change classes depending on how their progress goes, which is why all the lower class kids try their best to move up the ranks. Demonio is in Class A, just like the game, where he also came in first. Pena is quite thrilled, so she asks what evil plans he has now. Bro says he's not giving in to the dark side. The last thing he wants to do is become a pariah, because then he will be on a one-way route towards ruin. Of course, he does plan on doing some shady stuff, so he's clearly thought this through. Even in the exams, Demonio had gone easy on his opponents, because he did not want any unnecessary attention. Just like in the game, it would be better for him to keep things on a low profile. Pena is quite impressed that he still got the #1 ranking despite holding back. Our hero tells us that it's only been 1 year since he reincarnated into this body, but he feels his dormant skills have been activated, thanks to all his training. Despite this, he can't rest easy at all, as he will need a lot more power to turn the game on its head. After all, he has confirmed the existence of someone troublesome. The students are seen talking about a commoner joining the academy, and they think he's bad news. He does not seem to be too competent, as he is in Class E due to not being able to use magic, but his sword skills seem to be out of this world. Is clearly the game's protagonist, Rei. Now, we see the head mistress of the academy, Siguro, who is an absolute babe. She says there are lots of amusing students this year, but there are two who are the most remarkable. The first one is obviously Demonio, who still hasn't shown his true potential, and the second one is the commoner Rei, who can't use magic. Since they have a trouble kid and a maverick, Siguro tells the head teacher that she will have her task cut out for her. However, she says it's no problem for her at all, as she will drill the academy's code into these kids. She is quite determined, and she too is a total stunner, so we would also like to enroll into this academy for research purposes. Demonio is in Class 1A, and all the students take care not to get on his bad side. His face is quite terrifying, and there are the rumors of his mistreating his staff as well. Pena jokes with her master, saying he is getting a lot of hate, but he should be fine with it, as Comic Guzzlers is also hated by evil companies who put false claims on their channel. A couple of girls approach Demonio and tell him they are fans of his, so they would like to have a magic lesson together after class. The buttering up is quite evident, and Pena learns that there are different ways to react to powerful figures. However, Bro has never had so much female attention, so he does not know how to react. His face is showing no interest at all, so the girls decide to take their seats. Pena realizes that her master is not into the kind of girls that Drake likes. Suddenly, the head teacher walks in and tells everyone to be quiet. Her name is revealed to be Gloria, and her character design proves that this manga is peak. Demonio immediately recognizes her as Mommy Gloria, who is known for being strict and stern. She is also an elite knight member despite being a professor in the academy. She did not show up much in the game, as she was not the homeroom teacher of the protagonist. Gloria is also quite popular with some players, especially our hero. Now, the sensei Mommy talks about how talent in magic is very important, especially for nobles who have a high aptitude for it. However, there is no point of that if you can't hone your talent. It all depends on how you develop your skills, and she will make sure that happens. She will improve everyone, and will not allow any arrogance to take place. Gloria makes herself clear by unleashing some magic, and she can see that she has startled all the students despite them being in Class A. She feels they are all amateurs, but then she notices that Demonio is completely unfazed as he stares at her body. Bro can only think about her pillows, but Gloria assumes that he is looking down on her. She senses that Demonio is provoking her by hinting that he has nothing to learn from her, so she gets really angry. That's obviously not the case, as our hero is in his own dream world, fantasizing about meeting Mommy Gloria every single day. Later, Pena asks her master if he has already seen everything about the academy in his previous life, but he says in the game he could only access certain areas. He does not know most of the students surrounding him here, and then he notices the cafeteria. There's a girl named Sakura who is from the Eastern Island country. As for other details, he only knows her mommy is cute. Then there's Tina, who comes from the country of elves. And again, the only other thing Demonio knows about her is that her mommy is cute. Pena is not sure what her master is trying to say here, but Demonio tells us that there were some wild scenes with both these babes in the game. He had skipped them because he only believes in enjoying older women like a true man of culture. Suddenly, someone throws away a girl's plate, so she gets into an argument with the bullies. They tell her not to eat in the middle of the table, as she is an E rank, but this is not at all elegant behavior. The victim is named Rebecca, and she is one of the main heroines of Mama Fan, which can only mean one thing. Someone walks in and says it's a shame because he was yet to try Rebecca's food. He also does not like seeing people waste food, and it's none other than Rei, the lowly protagonist. Naturally, a mommy enthusiast would be his ultimate villain. Pena wants to know more about him, so Demonio explains he's Rei Brave, who is the protagonist of the game. Once again, our hero calls him a lowly con, which alarms Pena. Of course, this is not really a problem because Rei is a teenager who likes girls of his age. Anyway, the other students scold Rei because he can't use magic, so he has no right to talk to the upper ranks. As per the game settings, he is supposed to be a laggard at first, and Ray says that he will climb to the top of the academy even if he can't use magic. However, Demonio knows that his magic will awaken afterwards, so this is all just tough talk. As a matter of fact, since Ray is the descendant of a legendary great hero, he becomes the only one who can use ancient magic. It's basically just another case of heavy plot armor. Pena understands that if Ray is the protagonist, then he will save the world. In the game, Demonio is supposed to lose to Ray in the middle of the journey, and then he loses his mind, after which he dies a miserable death. Our hero would like to avoid this route, and the best way to do that would be to get friendly with Ray, including fighting enemies together. Demoni knows all of this in his head, but he still can't bring himself to forgive Ray. Then we see him back in his original world, where the game offers a choice to either leave Mariana by herself or stay with her till dawn breaks. He had chosen to stay with her, but then Ray automatically decides it would be best to go back to his dorm. This was unforgivable and also didn't make sense if he didn't have a choice in the first place. Keeping all of this in mind, Demonio figures it would be best to stay away from Ray to keep his mental health all right. After all, he does not wish to have Ray's preferences rubbed off on him. Back to Ray, we see that he has beaten up the brat bullies who run away like cowards. Rebecca commends him for his actions, but something is up. Basically, Ray can sense some really powerful bloodlust, but it's more of someone who's frustrated with him. Of course, it's coming from Demonio, but we'll move to an hour later for plot purposes. Demonio knows that if the story goes as per the game, then Ray would have deepened his bonds with the heroines. On the other hand, our hero is doing whatever he can to make a good impression on Mommy Gloria. She asks a question about a magic incantation, and he answers it immediately in great detail. Bro is studying hard, and everyone is surprised by his dedication. No matter what Gloria asks, Demonio has his hand up even before she finishes her question. Demonio is extremely diligent, but she wonders what he is trying to pull here. Of course, our boy is just happy to be attending his mommy sensei's lessons. He obviously does not want to become a problem child, but with deviations in the plot, his game knowledge will become less reliable. Now, Bro notices his classmates Carol and Mina being harassed by some creepy bullies. They seem to have spilled some coffee on a senior's shoes, so they want them to make it up via shady methods. The main bully is a boy named Greg who wants to use these girls as his toys because his parents are very influential and they are used to cleaning up his messes. Things are getting out of hand, so Demonio decides to save his classmates. Pena is surprised that her master is interested in saving people other than curvy mommies. But that's rude. Even though our hero is not interested in these girls, he still wants his mommies to be proud of him, so he jumps into action. Demonio makes a dramatic landing, and the girls notice he has arrived. The seniors get a bit concerned, because they know he's the top student from this class. The academy does have a hierarchy based on seniority, so Greg and the others feel they can still boss Demonio around. In the original game, Demonio would beat anyone who would annoy him, including seniors, so he garnered quite the reputation. On the contrary, over here, he bows down to his seniors and apologizes on behalf of the girls. It's actually a mature move, but the bullies call him a fool and decide to use him as their servant. Greg even begins beating him up, despite Demonio not wanting to fight. After all, the bully wants to make a name for himself as the guy who beat up the top student. Carol and Mina feel bad for Demonio, but it looks like the beating is finally done. Greg considers Bro to be a loser for not retaliating even once, but then he messes up big time by saying Demonio should go home and suck on the twin peaks of his mommy. These words trigger him instantly, and he lifts up Greg with one hand because of what he just said. The bully can't comprehend such strength, but Demonio has a brief flashback to when he shared the bed with Mommy Rosa. There's no suspicious activity as such, but in the middle of the night, as Rosa moves around in bed, her pillows are on full display to Demonio. His intrusive thoughts take over, but then he stops himself because this is not the kind of man his mommies have raised. We're back to the present, so now we know why our hero is so upset. He had to endure a lot of temptation, so such statements should not be said so casually around him. He takes down Greg with one blow and tells him never to say such unholy things about such holy pillows. The Billies run away, and the girls hug Bro as he has successfully rizzed them despite it not being his intention. He tries to play it down, but Paina has no idea what floats her master's boat anymore. Greg is actually ranked number 3 in his class, so taking down an opponent like him is news that spreads wider than Bonnie Blue and Lily Phelps. Unfortunately, everyone thinks it's because Demonio is a scoundrel, so his reputation still takes a hit. Carol and Mina say good things about him, but some of the students find it odd that Demonio is so passionate about mommy milk. Some of the teachers even think that he wants to take control of the academy, so things are not going as per our hero's plan. On top of that, Gloria summons him, so perhaps he can't control fate at all in this game. Mommy Gloria does not look pleased, as Demonio could be a real troubled child. However, despite her eagerness to give him punishment, she did hear about the incident from Carol and Mina. She knows that Demonio was protecting the girls, so this comes under self-defense. She obviously can't just dismiss what our hero did, so she will make him run around the field 20 times as his punishment. It's not bad, plus Gloria needs to set an example for others. Demonio apologizes for his actions, but this puts a smile on Gloria's face. She figures our hero is an honest fellow, and her initial impression was wrong. She even pats him on the head and says he may be trouble, but he's not a rogue. Even in the game, Gloria would treat Demonio like a proper student, whereas the others would look at him like a ticking time bomb. She was both kind and strict, which is the best kind of sensei. This is exactly why Bro must change her fate as well, because she too is supposed to die in the game. 1 month passes by since enrollment, and we now see Gloria placing everyone in groups of 5. They have to head down to the dungeon's 5th level, and even though it's a low tier 1, Mommy Gloria tells all the kids to be sharp and alert. This exercise is voluntary for high-ranked classes, but compulsory for low-ranked classes. It's a 2-day expedition, so nobody usually comes from the upper class. However, Demonio is here as the only participant from Class A. Gloria asks if he is fine going on a solo mission, as his power level is much higher than the others. He's cool with it, and as the other students discuss why he's here, our hero tells us that in the game, Gloria loses her life in this class. We move forward and see everyone taking on the dungeon beasts in standard fashion. Gloria takes her notes, and then everyone reaches the first night without incident. Here, the students learn that Mommy Gloria has a kid, but she says it's nothing to be surprised about. She goes on to show us her locket, although we're distracted by something else. It has a picture of her daughter Gerda, who will turn 6 this year. She is quiet and gentle, which is nothing like her mom. It's rare to see her smile, but she explains that she's not been spending much time at home due to work. She is in the care of the house staff, but Gloria knows that Gerda must feel lonely. This is why Gloria will take some time off after class to spend some quality time with her daughter. It's a nice, emotional moment, but Paina is getting the feeling that Gloria is about to lose her life. Our hero explains to us that Gloria had the most obvious death flag if you're familiar with manga and anime. She's the typical workaholic who can't spend time with her child, and just when she decides to do it, she ends up dying. We also learn that a day after this conversation, a top officer from the enemy organization launched an attack inside the dungeon. The goal was to get the young heroines for their bloodlines and secrets. As per the story, Gloria stepped in to save the students from the ambush, but she never made it back. At her funeral scene, Gerda wouldn't stop crying for her mother, and it made our hero burst into tears as well. This is exactly why Demonio is going to save Gloria and remove all the death flags by himself. At first, he was going to skip this class entirely, but it makes sense for him to follow the enemy's actions to get a better understanding of their plan. The students come across a bath, and they did not expect a hot spring inside a dungeon. It turns out that the academy had set it up because a lot of classes happen here. Ray is told by the heroines not to peek, and he promises not to do it. However, the wall is a bit broken down, and Demonio remembers there is an event where you can see through the wall and peek at the babes. He cannot afford to let himself get caught up in this, because he must avoid the Drake accusations. Since Demonio is actually an adult man, he does not care for such sights, and finds it disgusting, thus changing stereotypes about the manga industry. In the process of running away, he comes across another hot spring, and this is perfect timing because he too needs to take a bath. Both Demonio and Pena relax in the hot spring, and everything seems to be going fine. But then our hero notices that someone else is there with them. It's none other than Mommy Gloria, and Demonio gets a full view of the heavens yet again. She might be a tough professor, but even she can feel shy at such things, so she reacts accordingly. Bro apologizes, because he did not expect to see her in such a vulnerable position. Mommy Gloria calls him a fool, but she can't understand why one of her students is at this hot spring. Demonio can't give the real reason, so he awkwardly gives an excuse. He obviously had no idea that Gloria would be here, but she tells him to stop being so goofy. This is an accident, and she is a veteran professor, so having a student see her in her birthday suit won't make her falter. As always, our hero finds this really cute, because even though Gloria is embarrassed, her pride as a professor will not allow her to let him see that side of her. Despite her act, Gloria feels it is necessary to let Demonio know that she used to have a more toned body. She used to have abs too, but her work has not let her train hard enough. We are all fine with women who don't have abs, and Demonio finds these even cuter, although he has to keep a serious face. He even likes that Mommy Gloria is giving him an excuse for the state of her body, even though he did not ask her for it. Now, Gloria smirks and tells Demonio that he is out of luck, because even though he is in a mixed bath, his partner is just a mature demon professor. She seems to know how her students regard her, which is not favorable, but that makes no sense to us men of culture. Gloria says that her students would like younger babes, but this is enough for Demonio, so he stands up and gives her a view too. He says that Gloria is a wonderful teacher, and even adds that she is 100 times more charming than the students, because they only have the gift of youth on their side. He does go out of pocket though, when he says that he did want to see Mommy Gloria in her birthday suit. He is a bit too passionate about it because in the game he did not have access to such scenes. Of course, this is way too weird for Gloria, and she asks Bro what exactly he's trying to say here. She loses her composure and goes on to knock him out with a smack to the head. Gloria also tells Demonio that he should not have such shady intentions for his sensei. As she gets dressed, Mommy Gloria does think about what our hero told her about being a wonderful teacher. She does catch some feelings, but wonders what's up with Demonio. Meanwhile, a shady character appears, and senses someone with strange mana in the dungeon's deep floors. This strange mana is being hidden by its user, so the shady character wonders if he has been found out. However, if that were the case, then the Academy would have already made a much bigger move. The imposter can sense that it is one person, and he feels that it is the same guy who saved Mommy Anna from his Gunner goons. Keeping this in mind, he will have to tweak his plans for the students. The villain unleashes some kind of spell, and we can hear some rumbling, but not like the one from Attack on Titan. The students catch hold of this sound, and soon enough they see a huge problem appear in front of them. It's a massive Hydra dragon, so things have gone from bad to worse. The students panic, and Gloria reaches the scene as fast as she can. She can't believe that there is a Hydra dragon over here, because it's not supposed to be in a low-tier dungeon. It's a legendary monster too, so fighting it is not going to work out. The Hydra dragon attacks the kids, who run away from it, but Ray brings out his sword to fight the beast. Meanwhile, Pena is trying her best to wake up Demonio from the earlier blow so that he can change the outcome of this arc. The monster is wreaking all kinds of havoc, so Ray decides to fight it. He jumps at the Hydra and lands a direct hit with his sword, but its skin is incredibly tough, so he does no damage. The students feel that they are doomed, but then a fireball attack lands on one of the Hydra's heads and obliterates it. It's Mommy Gloria who tells the students to stop attacking and run away, because they don't stand a chance against this monster. Ray does not want to leave her, but she orders him not to make her repeat her words. She powers up like a total boss and tells the kids to leave it to her. We can see that Demonio has finally woken up, but he is very late. He asks Pena why she didn't try to wake him up, but she says she was spanking his bottom tons of times. His bottom does hurt, but that's not the real issue here. In the game, this attack was supposed to happen on the second day, so things are already changing from the source material. If the timing of events is correct, then the students must have escaped as per Mommy Gloria's orders. Ray believes he is useless now, so the kids have no choice but to believe in their sensei. Of course, Bro knows that this event does not have Gloria winning in the game, as she is supposed to sacrifice herself to allow Ray to live and awaken his powers later on. She is treated as a sub-character whose end is just supposed to spice things up. What's worse is that Ray awakens not long after this. This is another reason why our hero hates Ray, as he only becomes useful when he has to save his younger harem babes. In the middle of his journey, Demonio comes across some big snakes, and Pena tells him not to let his guard down, as they are quite strong. He knows this, so he tries to recall the days of his training with Mommy Anna. We get a brief flashback of an intense fight between the two of them, and afterwards it turns out that they played elephants and kitties yet again. And yes, Mommy Maniana took control once more, completely draining Bro of his elephant water for her explosions. We can get jealous of him later, as he quickly slashes through the giant snakes with one strike. Our boy is determined as heck, because he overcame some really intense training, but Pena tells him to change his trainer, as he might lose his life from so much shady activity with Maniana. That would be an honorable way to go for a mommy enthusiast, and Demonio says that she probably was still under the effects of the substance, although we know that's a lie. Is Demonio going to be able to make it in time? Will he be able to stop Mommy Gloria from meeting a tragic end? This is a great story with more chapters coming up, but sadly, we have come to the end of the video for today. Like, share, and subscribe if you like Demonio's story and want us to continue. He's not a bad alternative to series, and we hope to see more of him, especially after our recent victory against the evil companies. Who is the best mommy? Is it Rosa, Maniana, Gloria, Siguro, or someone else who is yet to show up? Let us know in the comments below. Okay then, we'll see you in the next one.